Stefan Junaeus, how you doing?
Uncle Tim.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. You look great.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you.
So I'm excited about this whole company you've started.
Yes.
So I get to call you founder and CEO of Signature Message Media.
Yeah, correct.
And so tell me what Signature Message Media is.
Yeah, so this is a great question. So I've been a writer. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I've been a writer since college. My first job ever was a researcher for you.
Yes.
You gave me $500 a month. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure you were being nice to me. I think you wanted.
Pretty sure.
I think you wanted to give me money because I was a broke college student. So you invented a job for me, which was very, very sweet of you to do. But I started writing. I worked as an editor. Then I became a ghostwriter, and then I started working in tech after I got my graduate degree. And long story short, publishing for 12 years. And one of the things that I noticed that publishing changed a lot over the last decade or so. Mm-hmm. And so, traditionally, if someone wanted to write a book, because I'd get hired as a writer, as a ghostwriter for a book, they would hire someone like me, and then I would write it for them.
Yes.
And then they would need a publisher. So then that was like a second company. And then they would need a branding company because they needed an author brand, right? And then from there, they would need, a promotion company. And so I kind of realized that was like a traditional publishing model. And so Signature is really about helping authors in this new reality where what's essentially happened is that publishing has merged with author brand and what your mission is.
Yes.
And so my idea was, hey, I've been working for 10 years with all these different clients, and they're having to hire 3 companies to do a book. What if there was one company that merged all 3 together? And that was Signature.
Which is so smart.
Yeah.
But as your uncle, it's been fun to watch your journey of being the person who loved to read everything.
Yeah.
So if a new Volvo came out, you knew what was different.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So whether it was on cars, technology, gaming, I'm going way back.
Yeah, totally.
Okay? So just so you guys know, Stefan was the guy that read the manual. So if you got something, you even read the manual to make sure it worked correctly. So I think that's awesome because then you go get your undergraduate in Oklahoma, your undergrad degree. Then you go on in California and decide to get a master's degree. So when you were already in Oklahoma, you were already working in this whole field, which I think is amazing. You didn't wait till you even graduated your undergrad.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would not have been a writer if it was not for you. I mean, this is kind of a funny story, but so you were doing your book, Come Back and Beyond.
Yes.
With Harrison House Publishers, which happened to be, Harrison House Publishers was just, I don't know, like 20 miles from the university I was at. And so I think it was the day before you text me. And you said, hey, I'm going to be in town. Would love to see you. We're going to go to Zov's Italian Eatery. So you picked me up, and then I ended up going, and I'm pretty sure you set me up for it. But I ended up connecting with Chris Office.
It was a setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I already saw your mindset and your skill set. And I knew what Chris was doing with that company, Harrison House.
Totally.
And I thought this is going to be like a beautiful collision.
Yeah. So I ended up getting to know them, and I think that at the meeting I pitched them a concept about something, and Troy, the CEO of the company, made a joke. He said, so when are you going to write a book? And I said, how about 6 months?
Yeah.
And so I kind of weaseled my way in, and they started giving me editing work.
Yeah.
So I started ghostwriting.
Yeah, you were
20. 19. 19.
Yeah, you were 19 years of age.
Yeah.
So what I love about Signature and what you're doing with this company is that you know what works and what doesn't work.
Totally.
So when somebody has an idea for a book, I think most times they don't know what to do.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they just find themselves stuck. So I think that a lot of great ideas are just sitting in people's minds.
Yeah.
But how do they get it from their mind into other people's hands?
Yeah, so this is a great question. Mm-hmm. You know, I meet authors who are at 3 different levels. Typically, one author might have a manuscript, and they say, you know, Stefan, here's my book. I have no idea what to do with it. You know, level 2 would be someone who has a great idea for a book, but they need mentoring.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to write this, but I want it in my own words. I just need the coaching and then someone to help me publish. And then the third is usually like a C-level executive entrepreneur who says, I have a great idea, but I just need carte blanche. I need someone to take my words, put it in a book, and then help me really bring it to the world.
Yes.
And so I think in any piece, you know, the best books are the ones that solve problems. You know, most people think that, you know, books are people's stories, and they are to a degree.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people will say, I want to share my story, so they'll come and they want to write a book. But really, this is going to sound terrible. No one really cares about your story, right? Like, what people care about is how you can help them solve their problem. Mm-hmm. And so the best books solve problems.
Yeah.
And that's how people choose books. Like, if you go to Barnes & Noble, you'll notice that every book is in a category. And so the way that people choose books is they don't go to Barnes & Noble to buy your book. They go to Barnes & Noble because they have a problem.
Okay, you just said something amazing and very strong.
Yeah.
But I love it. Because everywhere I go, people say, people need to know my story. And you are so correct.
Yeah.
In the fact that everybody's story is unique.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean everybody wants to hear it.
Totally. Yeah.
They want to know maybe what you've been through that would help, as you said, solve their problem.
Yeah. And so the next question, like when I talk to someone who will say that, I'll ask why. So like, why is your story necessary? Like, what did you learn? What did you overcome? And your book should be a distillation of those core principles and communicated in a way where someone can leverage it to kind of solve whatever problem they have. Mm-hmm. And so the best books, they solve problems. And we think about this, right? Like, if you go to Amazon, you know, maybe your problem is you want to learn about World War II history.
Yeah.
So you'll just put in World War II. You'll look at 7 books, and then you'll pick the book that you think will teach you the most about what specific thing you're interested in. Mm-hmm. And so I would say step 1 is what I like to do, or its signature. The goal is to say, okay, how can you add value as an author? Like, you have this, maybe it's a company. Yeah. Maybe you're a fantastic lawyer. Maybe you're a public speaker and you have a signature message. Maybe you have an amazing story that has the ability to transform people's lives. The book should be about distilling that into a meaningful way, to be a tool, to be something that a person can use. Yeah. And if you can do that better than everybody else, you will be successful.
I like
in
this.
book writing.
So many years ago, I wrote a book called Utmost Living, as you know, with Random House. And I was on Southwest Airlines. I had to go to the restroom. And as I was coming back from the back of the plane, I noticed that somebody was reading a book. And for some reason, as I glanced, I thought it said Utmost Living because I saw them reading the book. So I didn't see the cover of the book. Yeah. And as I glanced, I thought, I think that says Utmost Living up here. So I went like this one, and I turned. Yeah. And sure enough, the lady had my big old face up like this. So I had to make a U-turn, and I said, Miss, I go, how's that book? And she goes, oh, my gosh, it's so fantastic. It's helping my life. I go, what page are you on? And she said, like, page 110. I go, I bet the author's great. She goes, well, it's a good book. I go, look at the cover. So she looked and she screamed. That was the greatest feeling. Yeah. That was the greatest feeling. Because you know that too. Yeah. Because you have been an author of a book. Yeah. How did that feel when you wrote your own book?
Yeah, I mean, being able, writing a book is it was harder than I thought it would be, which is kind of ironic. And a lot of people say that, but I think that the idea of adding value, of taking everything that you have, whether that's your experience or what you know or your expertise, and then being able to package that in a technological medium, which a book is technology, and then giving that to somebody so they can use it, I think is incredibly rewarding. It's also why I think that every entrepreneur, every business person, anyone who's trying to add value in the marketplace really needs to consider having a book. I think they should have it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and part of that is, is the goal to write a book to have 1 million people read it. Some books do that, but I think it's about who's your market. Some of the best books I've ever read were in subcategories, so they were books that were only maybe read by 10,000 people, but they were exactly what those people needed to hear. And so I think it's a journey that any person who's a thought leader, any person that's trying to build a business, they need to consider. What's my signature message?
I like this. Okay, so I have a thought for you. Is that, let's say someone has an idea for a book.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so they have this idea. Maybe they've had it for months or years.
Yeah.
So they contact you.
Correct. And
what can you then do for them? Give them the options once they come to you.
Yeah, so this is a great question. So typically a person, when they come to me, they'll be in 3 stages. So they'll either say, Stefan, I have a manuscript.
Yep.
Don't know what to do. Or, hey, I have a concept for a book. I've never written one before, so I'd love someone to mentor me or coach me through the writing process and then publish. Or the third would be, hey, I have a business. I don't have the time. I want to take my business to the next level.
Yeah.
I just need someone to ghostwrite it and then help me launch it. And so I would say, if you're somebody who is attempting to increase your influence, whether that's expanding your business or if you feel like you have a real message that is going to add a lot of value to people, that's really what we're about. And,
okay.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of experience in this because you've been doing
years.
this for how many years?
Yeah, I'm older now, right? 14 years.
It's a lot of years.
Yeah.
And
totally.
been working with another company in publishing books, and you've done that for many, many, many of my friends.
Yeah, 100%.
And I keep sending my friends to you because you're fantastic at what you do.
Thank you.
So here's what a lot of people ask me.
Yeah.
When I send them to you.
Yeah.
They say, is it hard copy? Is it soft cover? Is it an ebook? So how would you answer that question?
So I would say all 3.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely want an ebook. Most ebooks are sold that way. A high percentage of books are, and then hard copy is great. The margins are a little different, but it's a great showcase piece.
Okay.
But if you're trying to move a lot of books, soft cover is great for a variety of reasons. It's easier to ship. It's a lower price point, which means more people can buy it. And so, I mean, that's a great. I think that question kind of hits this point of publishing your book, establishing your author brand, and then building your platform.
Okay.
And so to answer kind of your previous question, if an author came to me, what would Signature Message do? We'd be able to do all 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Signature Message Media does that.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to let people know that you're not a company that's booking people on talk shows, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
because
totally.
It's very common.
Yeah, 100%.
People come to me and they say, I wrote a book.
Yeah.
How do I get it out there?
Yeah.
So Signature Message Media does everything you just said.
Yeah, totally.
And anything else that people should know?
Yeah, so I'll take this in 2 pieces. So the first is, so we will not only, we can either write your book for you, mentor you through the process, or publish your book.
Okay.
We can also establish your author brand, which is super important because when people are buying your book, they're really buying you.
Yes.
Right? And then the final piece is figuring out what your platform should be. And you bring up a good point. A lot of people, when they start the book writing process, I just had a client the other day, their goal was to be a New York Times bestseller. And I will tell you that obviously 99.5% of books never become New York Times bestsellers. But I would also say that for 99% of authors, trying to be a New York Times bestseller wouldn't actually help you, even if you it wouldn't help your goals of why you're even writing the book.
Right.
And so, I think that, you bring up such a great point that if your goal is to go from 1 to 2 million a year and you're trying to build your business and you want to establish yourself as a thought leader, a book is an amazing way for you to do that.
I totally agree.
But you don't need to be on the Today Show.
Yeah.
And even if you were, it wouldn't even help your business anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because you can't scale, you're not national. And so I think that that's something that I'm really passionate about is educating authors on what their plan should be.
Yes.
And how their plan is unique to their own goals and where they should put their money and what investments don't make any sense.
Yeah, I like what you're saying, but I also think that too many people think about the monetary side.
Sure, yeah.
And they don't think about the message side.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, for instance, if you're a person who writes a book and even 2,000 people read it within your network,
yeah,
that's a lot of lives you can alter and change.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe even your whole family that's never ever heard your message. So it's not always monetary, but I also know this. Like the author who did The Shack, he didn't think The Shack would be that big and then turn into a movie.
Yeah, totally.
So my friend Elizabeth Gilbert, who did Eat, Pray, Love, she told me personally, she said, I didn't know Julia Roberts would play me in a movie someday. Right. She was just writing her story, right?
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of going with your company.
Yeah.
That it can leave a legacy in someone's family.
100%.
It could be a message that changes and alters somebody's life.
Yeah.
Or it can make you one of the biggest stars in the universe.
Yeah. No, I love that, because what you're isolating is, as an author, what is your mission?
Yeah.
And, what do you want to do? What impact do you want to make? Whether that's in your marketplace, whether this is a legacy project. A lot of our authors we work with are legacy people. They've been successful and they want to give back, almost like Ray Dalio with Principles.
Yes.
And, one of the first things that I'll do when we do like a consult call for a strategy is I'll ask, in 3 to 5 years, what is your definition of success for this book? And is it just in sales or is it, do you want to impact people? How do you want to do that? Oh, this is going to be paired with a nonprofit you have, or you're passionate about a certain product or service, and this book is going to get you there. Really thinking through a mission, what you want to do and achieve, what is going to be your signature.
Yes.
And then designing that book in order to achieve that, I think is 100% the way to go.
In the midst of all the projects you're doing.
Yeah.
Even some with me.
Yeah.
Why are you so excited about this project?
Yeah. So, number one, I love books. Number two, I love people who add value. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like a person who is help, who can come into a room and who's a servant, and who just creates value wherever they go. And so when I created this company, I didn't want to just do books. I wanted to help people create signature messages.
Yes.
And so many of the projects we've worked on, these are incredible people who are passionate about certain things, and their goal is to add value. They
Yes.
want to make the world a better place. They want to help people. They got into whatever field they did because they want to make a difference. And so what they need is the team that will help them think through the strategy and then build everything for them and then help them achieve that. And so that to me, when an author sets a goal and then they hit the goal,
I love it.
It's just so cool, And for me, that's what I want to see. I want to see every author succeed in what they want to do.
All right. Thank you for letting me interview you.
Thank you, Uncle Tim.
So watch this. Yeah. So Stefan Junaeus, founder and CEO.
Exactly.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Of Signature Message
LLC.
Okay. And so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
And I will continue to bring my friends and influencers to you because you're the best at what you do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I think we're done. Yeah, we did it. Thank you, Uncle Tim.
Good.
That was fun.
Good stuff.